Oh my goodness, it's almost football season. Thank you. Hey man, but welcome back into Beyond the Game where we go deeper than the highlights. Today, we will be ranking the top 10 quarterbacks in college football this season, or what I see to be the top 10 quarterbacks going into this upcoming football season. We got dual threat quarterbacks, we got polished passers, young stars. I think the young star is going to be big this year. We got some breakout candidates, a few I think that will surprise you. So let's not waste any time. Here's my top 10 going into the 2025 football season. So, man, let's get started. We're gonna start this. We're gonna start at number 10, get work down to number 1. Number 10, I've got Arch Manning. Now, some people may have him higher, some people may have him lower. But as someone with a small sample size of so he just got a small sample size, but his upside is massive. He's only played in 3 games. He finished in those 3 games, he finished with 68% completion percentage. He had 184 passer rating, 9 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, including a game against Mississippi State. So it's not like he just played against Group of Five or FCS bum competition and went out there and played good. No, he played well against good competition. I mean, he's got the prototypical size for your quarterback. He's 6'4", 220, and he combines the ability. He's got a strong presence in the pocket, and you can just tell that he's had quarterback coaching all his life. He combines that with athleticism, and he's not a typical just standing back there in the pocket Manning. If you really want to be honest, be real about it, like he had a 67-yard touchdown run last year. So I think he would honestly be higher on my list if he played more football. It's just this is his first game of the season. I mean, first full year starting, and so we'll see what we get from him. Now, of course, that lack of experience can also be a negative, which is again why I have him at number 10. But we'll see what we get from him. As long as he stays healthy, we all believe he'll win the job. I mean, some will say that he should have won it last year, but we'll see. This could be a great breakout year for Arch Manning. Now, we've got Rocco Beck. Now, Rocco Beck, he's a grinder, man. Like, I think, I will say when I was putting this list together, I was only sure about 4 or 5 of these quarterbacks that I would say are elite, going to for sure go play on Sundays. Now, they talked about last year's quarterback class draft class being weak. I wonder what this year's going to look like. I think this year's quarterback, the year after this is what I think where you're going to see an influx of good quarterbacks coming in. I'm interested in seeing what this quarterback class looks like this year going into the NFL. But Rocco Beck at number 9, last season he had 3,500 passing yards and he accounted for 33 touchdowns. This Iowa State team was, I would say that they surprised some people last year. I would say that they played better than they were expected to. And I think part of it had to do with him. Also, part of it had to do with the 2 NFL receivers he had. But I think he's going to come out this season. He's going to have a better. He's going to start the season a lot better. I don't think he started the season bad, but I think at the beginning of the season you saw a lot of inconsistency and ability, and that started to it went away as the season went on. I think he grew into his game, and he got and I think he's starting to become more of a consistent. He's going to become more consistent under pressure, the more that he gets these opportunities. I mean, he makes good decisions with the ball. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot. Once again, that has to do with just what he was able to do with those two receivers that he had. He had two really good receivers last year. I mean, he's a solid quarterback. I think he's going to be pretty good, and I think he can make that leap this year. Now, coming in at eight, coming in at eight, everyone has their opinions on this guy, and I will stand on the fact that I'm not gonna say I'm a hater, but I'm not as high on him as everyone else is, and that's Drew Aller. Maybe I am a Drew Aller hater. Now let's just be. Maybe I am a Drew Aller hater, but the guy's got he's got an NFL frame. He's got a rocket arm, and he's got good pocket presence. Last season, he put up 3,300 yards. He accounted for 30 touchdowns, and he honestly had real command of that offense. Now that can also be the problem because he had command of that offense, and that offense showed inability to score the ball. This team cannot beat Michigan or Ohio State. Hell, Oregon at this point, they haven't even they want to become an elite team in college football, but they have to become elite in their own conference. They're not looked at as a threat to really win the Big Ten. Yeah, these pundits and these people be out here talking about Penn State really winning a Big Ten conference championship, but no. Can we be serious? Can we be for real? They've got to get over the hump. And a lot of that falls on Drew Aller. I mean, now the coaching staff can take some blame, but there were multiple times last year when they got in the red zone and could not finish drives. This is clearly a team that's going to win you 9 or 10 games this season, maybe 11. Not make a championship a conference championship game. At this point, with 12 teams, they're going to make the playoffs, but I don't even think making the playoffs is the goal anymore because when you look at the playoffs over the years, Penn State has always been in that conversation. They've always been a spot or two out of that playoff spot. So I don't think it's about that anymore. This team has to get over the hump and become one of those teams. James Franklin wants this to be an elite program. The alma mater at Penn State is putting ridiculous amount of money into this school, into the athletics. Yes, they want to get over that hump. What is it going to take? I don't know, and I do know actually, and I think a lot of it falls on Drew Aller and his inability and inconsistency of playing the position. It just always falls down to not being able to put points on the board for Penn State. And while yes, we've seen they've had elite defensive linemen, elite. What do they have to show for it? I digress though, man. Coming in at number 7 is Luke Altmaier. Now, over at Illinois. Now, some people don't think Luke Altmaier should be in your top 10, but I think he's one of the more underrated quarterbacks in college football. And I think a part of it has to do a lot with Brett Bielema and the offense that they run at Illinois. They're not really able to recruit those elite athletes on the outside and that running back. So, and this is also the Big Ten. But last year Altmaier had 2,700. Oh, he had more than 2,700 passing yards. He accounted for 26 touchdowns and only had 6 interceptions. He also had 4 fourth quarter comebacks, including their bowl win. The lack of vertical shots and the shaky offensive line play can be a problem for them at times. They know, Brett Bielema knows that when they get into conference play, it's about defense and running the football. Michigan is going to run the football. Ohio State is going to run the football. The difference is, though, Michigan and Ohio State, really Ohio State, they recruit elite athletes on the outside. So when they get into position where they have to throw the football, they can and they will. Jeremiah Smith ain't no that. so so I just think I think if Luke Altmaier was in a more quarterback friendly offense, we would have different opinions on him. But I hope this season they open the playbook up a little. I'm not expecting no one expects Illinois to come out and throw the ball all over the field, but hopefully they open up the playbook a little bit and let my boy Luke Altmaier play a little bit. Let him play a little bit because I think his upside is tremendous, man. And coming in at number six. Now we got Sam Levitt, man. Sam Levitt. He last year he was quietly the Big 12 Freshman of the Year. Now, I will say this goes once again, just like Rocco Beck. That Big 12 is up for grabs. That who is going to be the best quarterback in the Big 12 is also up for grabs. I could not, and I will be honest with you, I could not take Caden Salter or Juju and put them in my top 10. More Caden than I could Juju. But Caden Salter, quarterback for Colorado, he very much has a argument to be on this top 10 list. Especially if you look at what he did at Liberty last year. But that's the thing, he came from FCS Liberty. Also, Avery Johnson. Avery Johnson has a case to be on this list, but Avery Johnson is inconsistent, and you saw that last year, and it cost them a lot of games. They were in a Kansas State could have won the Big 12, especially after that performance that they had against Colorado. But that I digress. Let's get back to Sam Levitt. He had just under 3,000 passing yards last year and added another 400 on the ground while throwing. And he had less than 6 interceptions last year. What I love about a quarterback like Sam Levitt is his control and his ability to improvise. He's very calm, cool, collected, controlled in the pocket, and when he gets out of the pocket, he's able to reset his feet. Even when he doesn't, he's able to make an accurate pass. He was. I hesitate to use the term really good last year. He was pretty damn good, and he did what they asked him to do. Now, what is this team going to look like without Cam Scatterbull? Cam Scatterbull had an argument for the best running back in the country last year. Now, you had, what's his name? Cam Johnson? I forgot. I just drew a blank. Running back from Iowa last year, and you had, of course, Ashton Genty last year. But Cam Scatterbull was as productive, if not more, for his team than any of those guys. So we will see if Sam Levitt is able to still be as productive and take care of the ball. Taking care of the ball, I think, is going to be the biggest thing, because when you look at what you're really able to do when you have a running back and you can run the football efficiently, it takes a lot of pressure off your quarterback, a lot. So we'll see what he's able to do, man. But I think with Levitt under center, they could make some noise in the Big 12 and maybe be right back in that position again, competing for a Big 12 championship. All right, man. Now we're halfway through our list. We're getting into who I believe are really the best quarterbacks in the country. Who I strongly believe 3 of these next 5 quarterbacks, you could see them sitting front row in New York come December. I would say you turn on their tape, you look at the numbers, and most of them just have that it factor. Like they're just going to get it done when they need to get it done. Man, let's keep it going. At number 5 is John Mateer. The guy's a fucking baller. Like the guy's a straight up ball player. Like if you don't know the name, go learn it. Go figure it out. Because I won't lie to you. I didn't know too much about him. Before, I cannot say that I was out here watching Washington State football games. He's a transfer from Washington State. He's following his offensive coordinator to Oklahoma State. If you don't know about him, turn on the film and go learn about him. Last year, the dude had 3,100 passing yards and had another 800 on the ground with 44 touchdowns. Now, them 800 rushing yards include sacks. In college football, those rushing yards include sacks. So that kid was probably well over 1,000 yards rushing without the sacks. And 44 touchdowns. Will he be as productive this year? I don't know. Maybe those numbers take a step back. But even if the guy goes for 2,800 yards and has another 600-700 rushing, and then throws, and then is responsible, not even just throwing, but then is responsible for another 30-35 touchdowns, this is still one hell of a season, especially at Oklahoma in the SEC. We could be, if ifs were fifths, we would all be drunk. Okay. If John Mateer is able to replicate what he did at Washington State in the SEC, look out. And I think the SEC is going to reestablish themselves as the best football conference in the country. And I think this top 5 is exactly why. But John Mateer, I think he has a similar path to Cam Ward. So we'll keep an eye on him as he's headed to Oklahoma. That first big game of the season will be in week 2. Everyone grab your calendar, circle week 2 if you're interested in this kid, John Mateer. Week 2, they've got Michigan. This will be a big moment, not just for him though, not just for him, because that head coach is on the hot seat. Brent Venables on the hot seat this year. Believe it or not, maybe he shouldn't have left Clemson. Maybe that's where he should have stayed. I don't know, but he was a big part of their success at Clemson. But he's on the hot seat this year, man. And coming in at number 4, Lenore Sellers. That boy is something. He won the SEC Freshman of the Year. You take that how you want to. He won SEC Freshman of the Year. He won SEC Freshman of the Year. He had over 2,500 passing yards, nearly 700 of them rushing, and accounted for 25 touchdowns. And he don't even got all the keys to the offense. This kid was a freshman. He just looks so natural playing the position, and I think that's what really separates him from his counterparts. Like, when you sit and watch them play, this kid he put that team in so many positions to win football games last year, it didn't make sense. They beat Clemson. They had a tough loss to Alabama, which they very well could have won. There was only one game that they played last year that they weren't in, and that was against Ole Miss. And that's an Ole Miss team that I think they can beat this year. But he's calm. He's in control of the offense. Lenore Sellers, he can beat you in so many ways, man. I mean, so many ways. This offseason, They offered this man this man was offered $18 million in NIL, but turned it down. The maturity, the growth is there. It's there. The leadership, the trajectory that this kid is on. I don't even think me putting him in the top 5 is like a projection pick, because I think that kid's freshman season was better than a lot of people take his freshman season over every other quarterback that I've named that played last year. There aren't too many quarterbacks that had a better season, let alone freshman season, than Lenore Sellers did last year. Don't be surprised if he's sitting in that front row this season at the end of this year in New York come December. And at number 3, man, give me Garrett Nussmeier. Oh, good old Garrett Nussmeier, man. So I would probably say Garrett Nussmeier is probably the most polished quarterback in the SEC this year. Last season, he had over 4,000 passing yards and he counted for over 32 touchdowns, man. He throws with a lot of anticipation, but this offense depends on him a lot. A lot. A lot. LSU had some heartbreaking losses last year. Just a few. Just a few. Just a few. A lot of it had to do, though, with the inconsistencies of their offense and their inability to stop the run. They couldn't stop a nosebleed, which is why they found themselves losing to a team or barely beating a team like South Carolina. LSU only beat South Carolina by 3 points last year, and it went to Lenore Sellers and his ability to run the football. And I think that's what really separate. That's what keeps LSU where they are. And so, I mean, now whether you blame those offensive struggles on Garrett Nussmeier or you blame him on Brian Kelly, who is infamously known for saying that he couldn't win a national championship at Notre Dame, a game that Marcus Freeman, their head coach now, had Notre Dame in just last year. But I won't say it all comes down to coaching, but I do think Brian Kelly has to do a little bit better from just overall, man. But if Garrett Nussmeier can take a leap this year, I don't know how much of a leap he has to take for this team to become what they're supposed to be, and I don't think it all falls on him. But the tools are there. But you also don't need Garrett Nussmeier to make the mistakes that he was making last year. There were times that he was making mistakes that led to their inconsistency in the offense, not being able to score points. Just go back and look at week 1 against USC. They were in the red zone multiple times and could not finish drives. They ended up losing that game. They were up 17-13 going into the fourth quarter and ended up losing 27-20 after only being able to score 3 points in the quarter. Come on, man. Garrett Nussmeier has to be a little bit more consistent, and I think they can be a team to be reckoned with this year. Now, some of you might not agree with this, but guess what? I don't care. This is my list. This is my list, and with the placement of this next one, this is projection. I don't even think so, because the impact that he had on his team last year was ridiculous. The impact he had on the entire conference when he played was outrageous. And that's number two, DJ Lagway, the true freshman phenom. The true freshman phenom. He went toe to toe last year in the SEC. He beat Ole Miss, beat LSU, and almost beat Georgia. He almost beat a Georgia team before getting hurt. He got hurt. The offense did not look anything like they were supposed to once he got hurt, man. Their offense was very dormant with a player like Graham Mertz in at quarterback, which is why they made the switch to Lagway early in the season. They made that switch pretty early in the season. No, his numbers don't jump off the page to you. But when you turn on that TV and you watch him play, the impact that he has on the game jumps off that screen. Watching him play, he's so dynamic. You talking about can throw the ball 70, 80 yards. I'm talking flick of the wrist throwing the ball like it's nothing. He very much has a Patrick Mahomes feel to him when you watch him, when you're out there watching him play. This season he was very raw talent, but his ceiling is scary. If he can improve on the little things like footwork, he's going to get a better understanding of what he's looking at and reading defenses too this year. And I think experience is going to be scary for a guy like this. I don't know that halfway through the season you even look at him and say he's number 2. But we'll see. Because I think going into next season, he's undoubtedly the best quarterback in the country. Undoubtedly. I think he's probably your odds-on favorite to win a Heisman next year. But man, number one number one quarterback heading into the 25 football season, Cade Klubnik. Numbers-wise, this kid is surgical. He had more than 3,600 yards passing. He accounted for 43 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions. He's doing this while pushing the ball down the field, though. This isn't some rinky-dink dunk it off to the running back, run a bunch of screens type offense that they're running at Clemson. No. The kid is throwing the ball down the field. And you hear some numbers like that, and you think, okay, he's a pocket passer. No. He's not a statue back there in the pocket. And really, no quarterback in today's football really is, because we can't really have it. We don't really have many true pocket passers because they're just not really a place in the game for that anymore. But he has another 500 rushing yards. And so, I think after a quiet season of winning the ACC championship against SMU, who even knew that Clemson, if you weren't really paying attention to the SEC, you didn't even know that they had a chance to play in the game. Hell, you damn watch ESPN, the only people they talking about was Cam Ward in Miami. Sometimes they talked about SMU just because they were going to be in that championship game. But after winning that conference championship, many believe Clemson is expected to return to dominance this season. And I think a big reason of that is because of your quarterback, Cade Klubnik. Cade Klubnik is, I wouldn't say surprise people, because I think people know in what they saw last year. This kid is going to be good, and I think when Clemson is good, it's better for college football. As an Alabama fan, I'm gonna say when Clemson is good, it's better for college football. At least in my lifetime, okay? In my lifetime. So man, there you have it. My top 10 quarterbacks heading into the 2025 football season, ranked from 10 to 1. We'll run through it real quick one more time. At 10, I've got Arch Manning. 9, Rocco Beck. 8, Drew Aller. 7, Luke Altmaier. 6, Sam Levitt. 5, John Mateer. 4, Lenore Sellers. 3, I had Garrett Nussmeier. 2, I had DJ Lagway. And 1 was Cade Klubnik. Now, man, it's your turn. Let me know if I got it right, how y'all feel about it. If I was too high, too low on people. Who did I leave out? Who would y'all like to see on this? Who was not going to make my list, though, was not going to be Bryce Underwood. No. And it damn sure wasn't going to be Carson Beck. I will get into more on Carson Beck, but I think Carson Beck was a big reason on why Georgia was not good last year. Now don't get me wrong. Yes, Yes, their receivers led the country in drop passes. But damn, did you watch that man play last year? Hey man, just drop a comment. Drop comments in below. In the comment, drop comments below. Let's talk about it. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. We've got more rankings and previews. Hey, and interviews coming all off season and during the season. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. We'll catch y'all on the next episode of Beyond the Game.